second while I get things situated. Happy Monday. Eh, 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 eh. Yes, okay. All right, here we go. Yes. So we are live on Hey 38 Records. We are live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Clubhouse right now. Okay. Um, hey everybody. We are going to start shortly at 8:05. Just want to give everybody a chance to come on into the room and get settled. Um, we've got a show chock full of stories for you all. If we happen to have anybody new this evening and you're not exactly sure what's happening, don't worry. I'm going to introduce myself to you guys very, very shortly. I just want to give everybody a chance to come on in and get settled before I do that. So we're going to get started at 8:05. In the meantime, you may want to grab a drink, grab a snack, grab something to record some notes with. Because there's going to be a lot of things, and I'm going to be asking, your opinions on things, so you might want to jot some things down. All right. What is it? This is the first Monday in October, guys. The year is almost over. Hey, Lily is obsessed with nails. Can't believe it. It's before you know it, people are gonna be pulling out Christmas trees. They're trying to pull out Christmas trees now, and I refuse. Christmas, look, I understand people love Christmas. It's not one of my favorite holidays, and y'all be trying to start Christmas earlier and earlier. It's only October. Why am I seeing Santa things? um, Anyway, but I digress. So we were going to get started in about 3 minutes. At 8:05, I'm going to give y'all my introduction as to who I am and what this show is about. And we're going to get into some fun stories. We're going to be talking about Kim Kardashian. We actually haven't talked about her in a while. Ben and Jerry's is having some trouble out here with their brand. A Mexican cough syrup company is having some trademark issues, or is not letting legal troubles get in the way of their trademarks. What is this? Somebody's trying to copyright exercise, and some of your favorite YouTubers are doing so, especially you guys who have YouTube channels. This is something that you're going to want to hear about. Some of your favorite YouTubers are making it easier for you to post your YouTubes and have less worries about copyright claims. Okay, so we've got a lot of stories tonight that we are covering. Can't wait to get into them. Again, make yourselves comfortable. We're going to have fun, but we're also going to learn. Clubhouse, my friends, I know that y'all like to be a little bit quiet during the show, but, I encourage you guys to participate in the conversations, either, by raising your hands or using the chat if you prefer. All right? Yeah. We're going to get started in less than 1 minute. Let me drink some water before I start. So I was at Ross the other day, and I got these cute glasses that are based on Disney's famous villains. They're like 4 glasses. I've got Ursula. I've got the queen from Snow White. I've got the Dalmatians, like Cruella de Vil. And I've got the witch from Sleeping Beauty, too. They're cute. I love them. And plus, we got the Little Mermaid coming out, so I thought I'd represent with my Ursula glass. All right. All right, it's 8:05. So it is time to get started, y'all, okay? You can stop listening to me ramble. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If this is your first time hearing my voice or seeing my face and you're like, who is this lady? I don't know who she is. Why should I listen to her? I am Natalie Pure Lewis. I am the host of the show and I'm the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. So things like making sure you have your articles of incorporation with the state, making sure you have your DUNS numbers and EIN numbers, making sure you have contracts for clients and partners so you don't get left holding the bag. Also helping you protect your um, excuse me, your intellectual property, your through trademarks, copyrights, and patents, and helping you hire and train employees properly so that you don't get sued for discrimination. Okay, I help you do these and much more. Hello, everybody. I help you do these and much more. If you're wondering why I'm qualified to help you do these things, I am a licensed attorney. I have been one for 16 years and counting. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I'm very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to be successful, there are just some things that you need to know. There's no way around it. So that's why I'm here. All right. Yeah, so if you are in the startup phase of your business, if you just got like the inklings of a business idea and you're just like, I don't even know how to get this thing off the ground, or if you've been in business for a little while and you're like, you know what, it's time to level up. I need to get my paperwork in order. These are things that I can help you with. Um, these are things that I can help you with. And you can connect with me by going to linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. There you can book yourself a free 15-minute consultation if you are a first-time client. You can also download my free Biz Launch cheat sheet that will help you choose and start your dream business in 7 days or less. Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm is also where you can access many of my digital products. This month we are focusing on nonprofit entities. This, like I said earlier, this is giving season, right? So you're going to be getting a lot of solicitations for donations, and some of you may even want to start your own, charitable organizations to make the season bright, right? But there are some guidelines that you have to follow to make sure that your charitable organization is, in line with the legal requirements. Okay, so if you just want to check and make sure that an organization is legit, I really encourage you guys to pick up the nonprofit entities ebook. It is only $9.97. The link is in at linktree/NPL Consulting Firm at the very top. Okay. Lily is obsessed with nails. Asked, will you be doing a video on Tuesday as well? No, Lily, I only do this broadcast once a week. But if you go to my YouTube page, I have like almost 500 videos on there from past lessons, so you can check that out. Okay. All right. Now that I have shilled my wares, let's get to the reason why we are here and get to the show. All right. So for those of you who might be new, this is how the show works. I pull stories from the news, stories from blog sites, stories that you guys send me, and I pull the ones that have lessons that we can learn as business owners, and we talk about them. So this is a time for you to get involved in the discussions. This is a time for you to ask questions and give your commentary, as long as they are respectful. Like I tell y'all, my mama watches this show, and I'm not going to explain to her why people are cussing on here, okay? All right. But yeah, so that is what we're doing. And we are Gonna get started. Why are what? Okay, people want to text me in the middle of my job. Okay. Anyway, but we're going to get started with our stories, okay? So, our first one, like I said, we are starting off with a very, popular, well known name, Kim Kardashian, right? I talk about Kim Kardashian at least once a month on this show, not because I'm a fan, but just because her and her family are always involved in some type of intellectual property story, whether they are, the plaintiffs or the defendants, right? Um, and that is because the Kardashian clan, they know how to brand, right? They know how to brand, they know how to make you buy things. When the Kardashians promote something, there is an automatic uptick, right? In sales for that product, whether you like the Kardashians or not, right? So when the Kardashians post something on their Instagram, best believe it is something that they got paid for, because I think that Kim Kardashian, actually, yeah, we'll get to that. Best believe they got paid for that post, because whatever company asked them to promote it, this is advertisement, right? And usually when they post these, they do these posts, at the bottom they'll usually say ad or sponsored, or whatever company partner, right? You are legally required, when you are on social media, if you are an influencer, whether that be macro or micro, you are legally required to disclose when you have been paid to promote a product, right? And the Kardashians, they make lots of money on this. One post can cost you up to $250,000, $250,000 just for the Kardashians to post, your product on their social media, right? Well, Kim K did this for a company, a crypto company. She posted in her stories that a friend told her about this crypto company and selling Ethereum and all this stuff. And of course, she posted in her stories, and it made this cryptocurrency, or skyrocket, because they're like, oh shoot, Kim is letting us know about this crypto. That means, it must be legit. So let's get into this. And it was then, later on, it was found that this was just, a pump and dump scheme, right? And when Kim K posted this in her stories, she made it seem like, it was just a buddy or someone or something who told her about it. But in fact, Kim Kardashian had been paid $250,000 to post that in her stories, and she never put ad or sponsor or anything. So because of that, because Kim Kardashian did not disclose that she was paid $250,000 to promote a cryptocurrency on her social media, she now has to pay the SEC, meaning the Security and Exchange Commission. She has to pay them $1.25 million in fines for violating SEC codes, okay? So understand that these laws regarding, especially as social media influencing, becomes more and more prominent. If you're going to be paying people online to promote your products, especially people with large platforms, you need to make sure that, or if you're going to be promoting, because we've got Leah in the room right here, right? Leah has thousands, I want to say like over 10,000 followers. And even in this group, there's like over 60,000 members. I'm not sure on the numbers, Leah. You can clear us up on that, right? But if someone wants Leah to promote a product or a service, Leah's going to have to put, ad, hashtag ad or hashtag sponsor at the, in the caption, so that people know that she has been paid for this, because she is an influencer, right? Um, Wait, Lily is obsessed with nails says interesting, because she didn't pass the bar. She took the baby bar. She didn't take the real bar. Yeah. So just word to the wise. If you're gonna pay people to promote your products on social media, make sure that it is disclosed that they are being paid for that. And that's true, Lily. And if you are the person who is going to be paid to promote a product, you need to put ad so that you don't get sued, for not disclosing. Okay. But $1.25 million, Kim K got that in her, at the bottom of her purse. She'll be fine. Okay. Moving on to our next story. My ice cream lovers, if you are an ice cream fan, give me an ice cream emoji. I love ice cream. I eat ice cream in the dead of winter. I love like cookies and cream, cookie dough, fudge brownie ice creams. I love ice cream sandwiches. I love the Magnum ice cream bars, the Hagen. Oh, I just love ice cream. Okay. But if you like ice cream, give me an ice cream emoji, okay? Give me an ice cream emoji. Wait, am I kidding? What and For those of you, and if you like ice cream, let me know what your favorite brands of ice cream are, right? Now I'm a Ben and Jerry's girl, right? A lot of us are Ben and Jerry's. I know in the South there's a brand called Bluebell that's very popular. I'm trying to think of other popular ice cream. We got Haagen-Dazs. There's Breyers. Any other brands y'all can think of in terms of ice cream? Anyway, but I would say of all these brands, Ben and Jerry's is probably like, she's Ben and Jerry's is that girl. Okay. Ben and Jerry's, they are well known. They have collaborations with different companies like Netflix and different shows and stuff, and even Marvel, right? Ben and Jerry's, they're a very famous ice cream brand. And while Ben and Jerry's makes a lot of money on their product, Ben and Jerry's also has a very strong social mission, for their product. They Meaning that they are very aware of what's happening around them, socially. Like they've posted, very often about, police brutality, about, the mistreatment of Black people in America, about the war in Israel, things like that, right? Um, and so they're very politically aware, and they try to align their morals with their business. Now, if you didn't know, Ben and Jerry's is actually owned by the company Unilever, right? They were purchased some years ago, but in that agreement, Ben and Jerry's still held control of the social mission. So even though Ben and Jerry's said, "Hey, Unilever, we'll sell you, our business," we're still going to be able to control how you present our business to the world, right? So, because Ben and Jerry's, the originators of Ben and Jerry's, they want their business to align with their morals. Um, they're having a little bit of trouble with Unilever right now because in Israel, Unilever has sold the rights to the Ben and Jerry's name to another business, right? Now, Ben and Jerry's doesn't want to do business in Israel, period, because they oppose, they oppose some of the policies that Israel has regarding Palestine and things like that. We're not going to get into that, but Ben and Jerry's does not agree with Israel's course of action, and they are suing Unilever for violating their shareholder agreement because Unilever has sold the Ben and Jerry's name to a company in Israel, right? Um, and they don't like that. Now, on Unilever's side, Unilever is not denying that they have done any of this, but all they're saying is, well, we are the deal is already done. What are you going to do about it? So Ben and Jerry's is suing Unilever, at least in Israel, over selling their products or continuing to sell their products there, because Ben and Jerry's has been sold in Israel for decades, but they're basically like, look, Israel's wilding. We don't really want we don't really want to bang with them anymore, so please stop selling our products there. And Unilever was like, well, girl, we already sold it to somebody else, so you need to go talk to that. So we will have to wait and see what happens between Ben and Jerry's and Unilever, especially because it's outside of the country. We'll have to see how this turns out. But do we have any questions on that? Any questions as to how Ben and Jerry's could maintain control while still selling? Hi, bro, Asim. Hi. Um, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat box, and I'm gonna get to them. Okay. All right. Moving on to our next story of the evening. So the title of this episode is "One Indictment, Don't Stop, No Show." Okay. I'll tell you why I named it that. So there is a company in Mexico. This company makes cough syrup, cough medicine. And the name of the company is called Salud something. I can't read the rest of it, right? Now this company, they have distributors all over all over South America, and things like that, and even in America. And their main product is something called Eucalin, Eucalin. If anybody is familiar with Eucalin, let me know in the comments, right? Now, like I was saying, so this Salud Pharmaceuticals company or Salud Health, they're a supplements company. They are based in Mexico. They were prevented from selling their products in the United States because they were accused of doing business with Mexican cartels, right? So the United States says, hey, we think you're doing business with criminals, therefore you cannot sell your products in the United States, okay? Now, Salud, they had their trademarks and everything, right? And they were and yes, so they had their trademarks and everything filed. They just couldn't use them because the government literally said you're not allowed to do business in the United States. So, one of the distributors of Salud Health's Eucalin opposed Salud's trademark with the USPTO and said, look, these people, y'all took them off the market because they're doing business with, cartel leaders. So their trademark shouldn't stand, right? So, of course, Salud Health, they pushed back and they were like, look, just because we got a little legal trouble doesn't mean that we gave up our trademark, okay? No, we haven't used it in a little bit, but that's just because we've been sitting waiting for the judge to tell us that we can start again, right? Now, remember, if you do not use your trademark, if you don't use your trademark, it can be canceled and someone can snatch it up, right? But it has to be for, intentional non-use. This non-use by Salud, this was not their fault. They have every intention of picking up business once the courts say, hey, you're not on timeout anymore. So this was an involuntary lack of use of the trademark. It's not like they were like, we just want to chill for a couple of years. They were literally barred from selling their products or engaging in business by the government, so that can't be held against them, okay? So the lesson that we can pull from here is that, if you have your trademarks, in your business and you've been working for some years, and God forbid you end up in some type of legal trouble and you are not able to engage in that business, don't worry, you haven't lost your trademarks. As long as you can show intent that you plan on picking right back up when you get out of the legal trouble, you're going to be able to keep your trademark, okay? All right, before we move on to other stories, I want to remind you guys that you are watching NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the startup phase of your business and you're looking for some legal guidance, I'm your girl. Hit me up. Let's go. Go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm and book your free consultation today. Okay? All right. Moving on to our next story of the evening. Okay. So if you didn't know, photos of the White House, photos of, the administration, whoever is in the office at the time, right? No matter who takes these pictures are considered public domain, meaning that you don't have to you don't have to obtain a copyright, you don't have to get a license to use photos of the White House or the president or, any of those political officials, right? Don't have to. Um, Now, apparently not everybody knows about this, right? So there's one of the former White House photographers. He goes by the name Pete Souza. His name is Pete Souza, right? He took tons of pictures of the White House, and while Obama was in office, he took their pictures. All of those pictures are in the public domain, meaning you can go look them up on the internet and use them without having to worry about getting a copyright claim, right? Um, Pete Souza recently received a copyright takedown demand from a company called Copyright Track, right? So Copyright Track is a company that basically holds themselves out where they help you stop people from violating your copyright. So you call Copy Track, you said, "Hey, I own such and such," and they're using my picture. Go tell them to stop, right? That's what CopyTrack does. So CopyTrack, on behalf of a company called When, said that mailed Pete Souza and said, "Hey, these pictures that you're posting, our client said that they own them, so you need to give us some money to use them." So Pete, the former White House photographer, he responds to them. He's like, "Girl, I took pictures of the White House. Those are free to the world. What are you talking about?" Right? So so CopyTrack had to go back to their client when was like, "Well, we get a lot of promo pics in the mail, so we just kind of lump them together." So basically, you're saying people give you free pictures and then you try to claim copyrights over them, right? Which is not something that you can do. So so of course the demand letter was taken down. When never really apologized. They were just basically trying to explain why they did it, but they never really said sorry. But just so you know, if you're ever intending to use photos of the White House or whatever administration has been there or political officials, there are no copyrights to those. Those are free domain or fair use pictures. Okay, all right. Um, Moving on to our next story. Um, if you are a fan of Genesis or Phil Collins, I think I've told you guys before, my mom is a huge Phil Collins fan. Actually, most Caribbean people love Phil Collins, right? Well, Phil Collins was one of the original members of a very popular American rock band by the name of Genesis, right? Um, and Phil Collins and a couple of other members of the band recently did something that a lot of seasoned performers are doing. They sold their Genesis catalog. Not only their Genesis catalogs, they sold the rights to their personal songs as well. So think about all the songs that Phil Collins has by himself. He sold all that, right? So Phil Collins and these former members of Genesis sold their catalogs for a total of $300 million, y'all. $300 million. Now, here's the twist. Genesis, when they first started, had 5 members. Uh, Things happen in a group. Think about Destiny Child. They have 4 members, then went down to 3. Genesis had 5, went down to 3 too. Apparently 3 is the magic number. So the 2 members who were one of the original members of Genesis, they will not be seeing a dime of that $300 million because they had left the group. Hello, sweet Mimi's goodie basket. What is his name? Peter Gabriel, who has, a prolific, a prolific career on his own, is not going to see a sliver of that $300 million because it is only for the portion of Genesis's catalog that was produced after Peter Gabriel left the group. Now, I'm sure Peter Gabriel is not hurting for money by any means. But he might be saying, "Dang, I should have stuck with them." Um, but yeah, you're if you are a musician, if you are, a musician of any kind, your catalog can bring in the big bucks. Like, who else sold their thing? Stevie Nicks sold hers for, like, I want to say 30 million. Lil Wayne sold his a couple years ago for 100 million. Um I forget, but there have been a lot of artists recently who have been selling their catalogs. One, because a lot of these artists are older, and they're reaching, the end of the line. They're like, I don't really need all this. I just take a lump sum. And another is that, because of when COVID was at its height and everything was shut down, a lot of artists couldn't tour. So they started selling their catalogs to make revenue. Okay. All right. So congratulations to, the later members of Genesis. Okay. All right. So we've got two more stories before we end. Hi, King Tuan the Eighth. Again, if you have just tuned in, you are watching NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the startup phase of your business and you're looking for some legal guidance, I'm your girl. Hit me up. Let's get your DUNS numbers. Let's get your EIN numbers. Let's get those products into big box stores. Let's get those contracts together, okay? It's about to be we are in holiday season. A lot of you creatives are going to have orders. Okay, you need to have them contracts in order so people know this is when I need my deposit, this is when I need full payment, this is when here's my return policy. Let's get all that together. All right. Okay, moving on. So like again, another side effect of COVID at its height was that everybody was going what was doing, like, some type of streaming, right? Including fitness. I remember, like, when everything shut down, I was a member of Planet Fitness, and they would post every day. They posted 30-minute workouts that you could do from home. Okay. um and these were free, but you also had other programs that were giving you, subscription plans that you could pay for. One such fitness person goes by the name Megan Roop, right? Megan Roop. Now, Megan, she was an assistant or an intern for a fitness professional by the name of Tracy Anderson, right? So Megan's working for Tracy for a couple years. Then Megan goes off on her own. Now, Megan had signed a non-competition agreement saying that she wouldn't use any of the proprietary things that she learned while working with Tracy, right? So Megan leaves and she goes and she starts doing her own fitness program, right? And Tracy is trying to sue her for copyright infringement. She's saying, you copied my exercise routines. Now, keep in mind, you can't really copyright exercise moves. So we're not really sure where Tracy is coming from with this. Megan is saying, look, Tracy is just afraid of competition, and it doesn't really have a copyright on these moves. It's not like she didn't trademark any of the moves. She didn't, have a certain sequence. And even if she did, and any of my yoga people, if you, I don't know if you remember, but some years ago, the originator of the Bikram yoga sequence, he tried to trademark the Bikram yoga sequence for himself, and he was denied by the court because they said, look, it's exercise. You can't copyright exercise, or own exercise. So Megan is asking the court to dismiss Tracy's case against her. Meanwhile, Tracy is saying, look, she didn't know nothing about exercise before she came and worked with me. So I don't know how she thinks she's going to be out here, posting her own exercise program. So I want to know from you guys, do you think Tracy legitimately has a copyright claim here, or is she just afraid of a little competition from someone who used to work for her? What do you think it is here? Do you think Tracy is really, worried about what's her name? Megan stealing her patented moves, or and I use patented in quotes, or is she just afraid of a little bit of competition? I think she's afraid of competition. Do you know how many fitness people are out there? Hey, Brandon. Like, there's no matter it doesn't matter, how you do the move. There's a certain number of moves. You might give it a different name. You might, I don't know, put a little spin on it, but the moves are basically the same. You can't really copyright exercise. So in my mind, Tracy is just, she doesn't want her former employee to upstage her in the fitness scene, and she worried. But we will see what the judge has to say about that. We'll see if the judge throws out the story. That Brendan guy, you popped in just for the last story. It's a very quick show tonight. Okay. So good luck to Megan. Maybe not so much Tracy. All right. Moving on to our next story. A lot of you guys have YouTube pages, right? A lot of us have YouTube pages, whether we're active on them or not. But for those of you who are active on your YouTube pages, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have ever gotten a copyright takedown claim from YouTube. If you have a YouTube channel and you post content, raise your hand if you've ever had a notification from YouTube that they're either blocking your video or demonetizing it because of a copyright claim. Okay. This is becoming more and more prevalent on social media. They basically have these programs that are trained to listen for copyrighted material, right? And it has gotten to the point that it's really affecting, the pockets of YouTubers. So two popular YouTubers who go by the names Ludwig and Jay Schlatt, they have created their own library of free music that YouTubers can use. Music that is, that doesn't need a license to be used. They've had, musicians re-record classical songs so that it's a new recording that they and they're just making it a lot easier for those of you, particularly those of you who maybe like to stream on Twitch and YouTube and things like that, stream your games so that you can have that background music. Okay. Yeah, so YouTubers, rejoice. All right. Okay, so those were the stories that I wanted to share with you today. We went fast today. We had like 7 stories. I want to thank you guys for participating in tonight's discussion. If you came in late, make sure that you go and replay it from the beginning and hear all the shenanigans. I will be back next week with more stories. Again, we are focusing on nonprofit entities this month. It's the start of giving season, so we want to make sure that 1, we are donating to legitimate places, and 2, that if we are soliciting donations, that we have all of our ducks in a row. All right, so go to linktr.ee/nplconsultingfirm and pick up the nonprofit entities ebook today. All right. Now, if you have any stories you want me to cover for the next show, please DM them to me. I love it when you send me stories. If you need consultations for your business, click the link in the bio. I'm waiting for y'all, okay? Don't forget tomorrow's Talk to Me Tuesday. You can get 30 minutes for $35. Again, link in bio. All right. So have a great night. Love you all. All right.